All right, people. So I am not here today, so we need to finish these notes that we started on Tuesday. This is the simplifying radical expressions notes. We did the front, looked like this. We did this section here, and then we should have gone through 1, 2, and 3 of this section, I believe. So that's just going to leave 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 for us to finish today. Alrighty, so just want to preface this by saying these will be on our test, so please be following along right now. Make sure you get these down because they will be on your test, okay? So let's start out with 4, 5, and 6 here. So these ones we're just going to need to simplify. We don't need to multiply anything yet. And the way we're going to simplify these is just by breaking it up into pieces. By pieces, I mean we have like a number here, we have a variable, and then we have a second variable. So to do this in pieces, we are just going to do one part at a time. So I'm going to simplify the 40 first, then I'm going to simplify the a squared, and then I'm going to simplify the b squared. These questions are just putting together all of the things that we've been doing in this note sheet. We simplified numbers on the front. We simplified our variables at the very top of this side. Okay, so that's what we're going to use here today. Alrighty, so like I said, I'm going to do one piece at a time. I'm going to start with this 40 first. So to simplify a number, we're going to need to find two factors. So I know 4 and 10 will multiply to give me 40. And then we're going to factor those even further. I have 2 times 2, that'll give me 4. And then I know for 10, I have 2 and 5. Okay, after I've done that, I'm going to look for my pairs. So I have a pair of 2s right here. And then that 2 and the 5 don't have any matching, so I'm just going to leave that where it is. That's going to stay inside the radical. All right, so I have a 2 coming out. I have my square root, and then I have that 2 and 5s left in there. I'm just going to multiply those together. So I end up with 2 root 10 as my first part of my answer. Okay, cool. Now we have the a part. So I have a squared. Remember, that means that we just have a times a. Well, that's the same, or just like we did with our 40, I'm going to circle my pair. I have a set of a's, so that means I will have one a coming out of my radical. All right, then we got our b's. Similar situation with the b's. I see we have b to the 8th power, so that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 b's. And I'm going to circle the pair. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 b's here. So I'll have b to the 4th power coming out of my radical. Okay, I've solved all of my pieces separately, so let's put them all together as an answer. I have all of my pieces coming out going first. So let's see, I got a 2, I have an a, and I have the b4. So I'll have 2, a, and b to the 4th power. All right, and then I need my radical, and then I'm going to check to see what pieces are staying inside of that. It looks like it's just this 10 here. So I'm going to have 2ab to the 4th power, the square root of 10. And that will be it. So just kind of extending what we've already done. Since we've already done each piece separately, we're just putting them all together now. All right. That is number 4. So if you need to write that down, please get it down. Please, please, please. I'll give you a second to do that. Alrighty, so let's move on. I have 5 coming next here. 5 is going to be exactly the same, just with different numbers here. We have an 18, we have an x to the 3rd, and a y to the 4th. Same situation though, I'm going to handle each piece separately and then go from there. So I have 18 here. I want to factor that first. Let's see, I know 2 and 9 will give me 18. That 9 we could take even further, and I found a pair. So I know that a 3 is going to be coming out of this, and then whatever is left over is going to stay inside. That looks like it's a 2. So I have 3 square root 2 for 18. All right, let's keep going. I have my x to the 3rd power next. Alrighty, so I know that means I have 1, 2, 3 x's multiplied by each other. I'm going to look for my pair, and then it looks like I have 1 extra. So I have 1 pair coming out, and then 1 that's left inside of my radical. Alrighty. I have my y next, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 y's. So I'm going to circle those pairs. I have 2 pairs of y's, so I'm going to have y squared. Alrighty, cool. Now we're going to take all of our pieces and put them together in our final answer. So I'm going to look for all of the outside pieces first. So I have a 3, an x, and a y squared. That's all going to go into my answer. All right. I need my radical, or my square root. And now I'm looking for all of the pieces that are left inside. So I have 2 and an x left over. So those will stay inside of my radical. And that should be our answer for number 5. I'll give you a moment to write that down. Alrighty. So let's do number 6 next. We have 90. We got an A, and we have a B. Alrighty. So I need pink for my 90. So I know that 9 and 10 will be factors for that one. 9 could go further. We got 3 and 3. And then we have 5 and 2. Let's see, looking for pairs, I have my 3's. So that's telling me that my 3's will come out. And then staying in, I still have this 5 and 2. So I'm just going to multiply those together on the inside. So I'll get 3 root 10 for that piece. Alrighty. Then I need my A. So I have a squared. That means that I have 2 a's that are being multiplied by each other. That gives me 1 pair. So I have an a coming out of my radical. And then last one is b, but this is only 1b. It's by itself. So since it doesn't have a partner, it cannot come out of the radical. So I'm just going to have square root of b for that answer. Alrighty. Now I need to put all those together in a answer. All right, I need my outside pieces first. So let's see, I have a 3, I have an A, and it looks like that's all that came out of this. So I have a 3 and an A going first. Square root of, let's see, we have 10 staying in and a B staying in. So that's what my answer is going to look like for number 6. Alrighty. I'll give you a second to write that down. Alrighty, cool. So, since we have those done, we can move on to 7 and 8. Now you could see that 7 and 8 look a little bit different. We have that multiplication side on the inside of these. So these are going to be similar to 1, 2, and 3, where we had to put it together first and then simplify from there. So let's take a look at these. Let's do number 7 first. I just want to remind you that this will be on your test coming up soon here, so just be aware of that. Alrighty. We have 2 square roots here. What we're going to do to put them together, We're going to multiply them just like it says, but we're going to multiply each piece that goes together. So when I say goes together, I mean like 6 and 20 are both plain numbers. Those are constants. So those could be multiplied together to get 120. So my answer here, I'm going to make it big. I got 120. All right, and then let's see, we have x's coming next. I have x to the 4th and x to the 10th. Now, something to remember with our exponents is we're multiplying together the variables, but the exponents are being added together. We talked about that a while ago, like I said, back in January. So don't worry if you didn't remember that. But our exponents will be added together. We got 4, we got 10. That's going to make 14 here. So we're not multiplying those numbers. We're just adding together the exponents. All right, and then the last bit that we have here is going to be our y's. So we have y to the 4th, y to the 5th. We're adding those together, so we're getting y to the 9th here. All righty, cool. So we've been simplified. Next thing that we need to do is, we've been put together. Next thing we need to do is simplify. So I have 120, x to the 14th, y to the 9th. So this is just like what we did in 4, 5, and 6. We're just going to take it piece by piece and break it down. So I'm going to start with that 120 first. I know that that's going to be 12 and 10. My 12 will break down to 6 and 2. 10 will break down to 2 and 5. We got 3 and 2, and then that's as far as we can go here. All right, so I see a pair right here. So I could take that out, but none of the other pieces have a matching pair, so those are all going to stay inside. So I have a 2 coming out. I got a 3 staying in, a 2 staying in, and a 5 staying in, because those are all the ends of our branches here. So all those got to stay inside. When I multiply all 3 of those numbers together, I'm going to have 2 square root 30. And that'll be how I simplified that 120. Okay, other ones we have are going to be x to the 14th. So that's a little big, but remember, basically all we're doing to simplify those exponents is going to be dividing by 2. So I have x to the 7th power here. And then y I have to the 9th power. That's an odd number, so I kind of want to visualize this one a little bit more. I have 9 y's here, so that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 sets and 1 extra. So I have y to the 4th, and that extra is just going to stay inside. Okay, cool. So now all I have to do is put my pieces together. So I want all the outside things to stay on the outside. So that's going to be a 2, a 7x, and y to the 4th. Or x to the 7th, not 7x. There we go. And then I still need my square root. And that will be everything that's left on the inside. So I have a square root of 30 and a square root of y. And those are all staying inside. And that would be our answer for that one. I know it's a few more steps, but hopefully it's not too bad. Main thing that we need to remember here is that we have to put them together first and then simplify. Don't try and simplify them separately, because you're going to end up having to put that together and it's going to be a little bit more complicated than we want. And that's what we got for number 7. Alrighty, moving right along, we have number 8. Okay, number 8, still the same idea. We do want to put these together first and then simplify. So let's see what we have here. We have 10 and 4. Those can go together because they're both constants. We have x and x. Those will go together. We have a z. No other z's, though. And we have a y without any partners either. And that's fine, because all we're going to do with those is just bring them straight down if they don't have anything to combine with. So let's make a square root sign and start putting stuff under there. Let's see. So I have 10 and 4. That'll give me 40. I have x to the 4th and x to the 2nd. So remember, when we do those, we're multiplying the variables, but that basically just means we're adding together our exponents. So we should have x to the 6th power. Z does not have any sort of partner, so it's just going to go down there. And then neither does y. Y is just on its own. Cool. Alrighty, so we have put together our pieces. Now we're going to simplify the whole thing. So I have 40 coming first here. Well, I know it's going to be 4 and 10, and then that'll be 2 and 2, 5 and 2. So I have a pair of 2's here. I have 2 root 5 and 2 are going to stay on the inside because they don't have partners. So that'll be multiplied to get 10, just like we did in that last problem. Alrighty, I have x to the 6th power. So that means I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. I got 1, 2, 3 pairs. So that'll be x to the 3rd power coming out. Let's see, we have z to the 1st power, so it's just by itself, doesn't have a partner, it cannot escape that radical, so it's just going to be square root of z. And then just like we said with those big numbers, we are just dividing it by 2, so we got y to the 6th power here. All right, again, I'm just going to take all of my pieces to write my answer. So I have a 2 on the outside, an x to the 3rd on the outside, and then y to the 6th on the outside. Okay. Then I need my radical because we just have one piece that's staying in, and that's going to be that 10. And that will be my answer for number 8. I'll give you a second to write that down. And that's it. That's all we got for these notes. So, what we're going to do next is going to be practice this, because I really want this to be like second nature for us. This is going to be a pretty big part of the next 2 sections that we're going to talk about. So I want it to be like easy peasy once we get to those notes, okay? So, next thing you're going to need is going to be this maze, which is going to get handed out to you. This maze, we've done several mazes before in the past, but this one is just going to be practicing our simplifying skills. There are about 7 questions in here that you're going to get to solve this maze, so it shouldn't take very long. I'm going to give you about 25 minutes to work on this and then have y'all move on from there. So, just a reminder with the mazes, you're going to start at the start box, right? Oopsie. Right here. You're going to solve this problem and try to find one of its answers. Its answers are either going to be right here, or right here. One of those is correct, and we'll take you to the next question. So, just for reference, let's say we did solve this problem, and your answer was right here. It's not, by the way, that's not the answer. But let's say it was. So you would follow that line to get to your next question, which is right here. And let's say that answer was right here. So then you went on to the next question, and then so on and so forth until you get to the end of your maze, okay? So like I said, there should be about 7 questions on here that you're going to need to go through to get to the end. But you're going to have to figure out which ones those are by following the correct answers, okay? You have a bunch of room on the front still and on the back, so all of your work could be done on this piece of paper. But yeah, going to give you about 25 minutes to work on this, so use your notes, let those help you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.